there is something very, very sensitive that I want to talk about today. Is it appropriate for you at age 70 and above to gift your spouse, your beloved spouse, properties in your will? I mean, properties like land, buildings, huge sums of money, and fat investments. Now, there are a lot of things that you would need to consider before making this decision. But before I continue, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share to your friends and loved ones. You need to consider the taxes that will be paid by your estate at the time of obtaining probate. So, after making your will and you pass on, when your executors are to distribute your estate, they will first of all obtain probate of your will. And at that point, they must pay 10% of the total value of the assets in your estate. They pay that to the probate registry, of course to government. Now, your spouse would then have access, complete access to the properties that you have gifted to him or her. When your spouse, who is around the age of 70 and above as well, is making their own will, they will put the same properties that you have gifted them in your old age in their will as well. And most likely, they will give the properties to your children, who in this case are the beneficiaries of your spouse. What happens again is the fact that the executors of your spouse's will would also apply for probate to be able to distribute the assets to the beneficiaries. What will happen here again is that another 10% of the total value of those properties will be paid. If you look at it critically, you will see that a total of 20% has been paid in respect of the same properties. Another thing that you need to consider, given your age at the time of making your will, is the long process of obtaining probate. You see, without the probate, your executors cannot distribute the properties or the monies in your estate to your beneficiary, in this case, which is your spouse. And if you are around the age of 70 and above, give or take, your spouse is also 70 and above. So what happens? The probate process takes a long time. And if you are the one maintaining your spouse in your lifetime, how then would your spouse be able to access funds to be able to take care of themselves? For instance, to take care of their medical bills, their maintenance, and upkeep. You would see that most likely your spouse could have been left stranded throughout the time of obtaining probate. In actual fact, if you are advanced in age and you are unable to access medical care, what is left? That is just more like a death sentence for someone who is old. And you don't want to leave your spouse in such a situation. So, you have to be careful. I believe you won't ask me, what can I do in this situation? Let me see if I can guide you quickly. In case of real estate, let's say your matrimonial home, what you can do is give your spouse the right of use and possession during his or her lifetime. Exclusive possession and right of use during his or her lifetime, and after their demise to your beneficiaries, your children. Of course, during that period, they have a right to convert the property even to commercial use so that they can get rental income. It is something that you can actually consider to give to them in terms of right in your will. In addition to that, you can actually set up a trust to take care of their maintenance and upkeep. You could also set up a health insurance in terms of a quality health insurance and life insurance as well for your spouse, at least to protect them in their lifetime and also to ensure that they have access to medical care. And if you have the resources, you could also consider subscribing to a global health insurance, whereby they can access health insurance or medical care from anywhere in the world. It is also very important to consider the health condition of your spouse at the time of making your will, so that you can make adequate provisions for the cost that will be required to take care of them in their lifetime and to help them manage their health situation. In all, what I am trying to say is that at the point of making your will, you have to be real to yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Don't shy away from the truth, because that is what will help you make proper planning for your loved ones. Of course, no one will live forever. We will all answer that call someday. And what would you leave behind for your loved ones when the call comes? And also remember that an unplanned estate is a potential chaos being nurtured by you today. I am the estate planning attorney.